The things that nobody tells you about growth. Do you feel people are keeping things away from you? They tell you you should do this for success or that for success, both on working on yourself, on the inner journey, as well as on the outside. We're trying to create something in the world. For both things, I feel there's a lot of things that are being held back. And today, I will talk about that and go in depth about it. So keep on watching to the end, where I will explain exactly what happened for me, how I overcame obstacles that nobody taught about. So the first thing when it comes to growing and succeeding, both when you're meditating, when you're working on yourself, or on the outside where you're trying to achieve things, on both sides, what you will notice is that you will have obstacles to overcome. There are obstacles on your way, on your path, and what happens is that you face an obstacle and you think, I can make it, I can do it, it's impossible. The limiting belief of having the ability to overcome an obstacle is what's holding you back in many ways, because we see an obstacle, but we don't have the faith that if we keep going, that we can overcome these obstacles that are on our path. And I think a very important message is that you need to have faith. You need to have faith that you can overcome these obstacles if you just keep going. But if you don't keep going, if you stop as soon as an obstacle arises, then you will look for another path. You will think, okay, this is not working, there's an obstacle on the road, so let me look here, or let me look there, or let me look there. Let me do another thing. But with everything you're doing, there's gonna be obstacles. There's gonna be obstacles. And it's almost that it's there to test your faith, to test how much faith do you have in yourself, in the process, in this working out, right? For example, I'm making these YouTube videos, right? How much faith do I have that this will work out, that this will grow? That is kind of what you need in order to keep going, even when the evidence is not there, even when you don't see the success there yet. You just got to keep going, both on when you're meditating, or when you're working on yourself, or when you're doing letting go work, or when you're outside trying to create something, to make something. On both sides, you will need faith. You will need to take the leap of faith to keep going. And through repetition, you will figure out where the problem is, how to solve the problem. You will figure all those things out, not by thinking, but by going through the process, by going and failing and making it happen. That is also the second thing. What is failure? Most people don't talk about failure. Most people are super quiet about failure because the algorithm doesn't push failure. Nobody talks about failure. Nobody likes to talk about their failures. They only want to talk about how they're succeeding and winning, and as if they woke up and born and they're successful. That's not the case. The case is not that you wake up successful, okay? That's not the case. Ever. Never ever is there anyone on planet Earth that has achieved anything that hasn't gone through tremendous amount of failure, tremendous amounts of trying and trying to make it happen, and failing and trying to make it happen and failing. The only difference between you right now and someone that's further along the journey, whatever journey that is, whether that is doing inner work or whether that is doing outer work, where you're trying to create something, in both ways, there's so much failure there. There's so much failure. And it's like, at some point you got to get over the whole idea of failure is a bad thing, or failure is something that you shouldn't have, or you're a failure forever. No. Failure only means you just got to keep going a little longer. That's all that failure means. It means I'm making a mistake, I can learn from it, I can grow from it, and I'm going to make another mistake, learn from that, grow from it. And that's just the whole journey, right? And we have this unrealistic expectation of the whole journey is just going to be success. Like, oh, I'm going to be successful this day, that day, that day, that day. It's going to be just success, 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 success. And then you will be so disappointed when you realize that that's not true. You'll be so disappointed that you're like, oh, but I thought I should succeed more. And it's like, no, you should fail more. You should embarrass yourself. You should fail. You should fail embarrassingly, stupidly, often. So often that you're like, did I ruin everything? Like, did I ruin my whole life? That's how much you should fail. Because through all that failure, you have so much knowledge that you're absorbing. You have so much experience. You have so many times seen the same patterns, the same things, the same way you're making the same problems happen. You see it so many times that there comes a day where you're like, oh, like I just got to stop doing that and I got to start doing this. But that day where it will click for you, right? What might happen in a second, in a moment, in a few days, that might take years for you to change. Because for you to change is difficult. And if you think you don't need to change to get where you want to go, then you're delusional. You have to change. Change always has to happen. So that's the third thing. Change. Without changing anything, nothing's gonna happen. Right? So if I'm just gonna be here and I'm like, I can just eat a little bit more of junk food, I can just, watch a little Netflix show, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't have to change at all. Like, I can just be and do whatever. No. My light died, so I'm just charging it right now. Anyways, no. No, you have to change. You have to transform. And that happens through failure. You see, failure is making you let go of the things that you need to let go of. There's a lot of things that when you want to succeed that you need to let go of. A lot of ego things, a lot of like, I need to look good, I need to, not do anything embarrassing, I need to always be perfect. All these things that are so stifling, and you cannot succeed when you keep on holding on to that. That at some point you start to see, like, I have to change. I have to change. If I want to succeed, I have to change. I can't succeed if I'm keep being and keep doing the same things that I've been doing. You see? So success comes through faith, through failure, through keep going, through trying again and again and again. And I think that most people underestimate how many times you need to fail. I think most people underestimate the amount of failure that you have to go through to get to the other side. I'm not talking about, 1 year of failing. I'm talking about decades of failing. Maybe 1 decade, maybe 2 decades of just failure, 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 till you change. You can change like this. You can change in a year. I'm not saying it has to take decades, but I'm saying for you to have a more realistic idea of how long it's going to take, I would say decades. So instead of looking at it from a point of view of I'm going to do this for a year and I'm going to succeed at it, look at it from a place of if it's going to take a decade, then either I have to spend 10 times more time on trying to make this work if I want to do it in 1 year, or I just have to wait for a decade and, of course, keep doing the things that you need to succeed, but keep waiting for a decade and then change and then transform. You can change and transform right now, but the thing is, you don't even know what to change. You don't even know what to let go of, because you have not failed enough to see your own patterns, to see where you're doing it wrong, where you're going wrong. You have to look at yourself again and again and again to see where you're making mistakes. Because only through that will you truly find what you need. So this is a no bullshit video. This is a no bullshit video where I say exactly what this. It is faith, right? That's not something sexy. You wanna hear a promise. You wanna hear, I promise you success. And I'm saying you have to have faith that it will work out if you keep going and keep trying. Very important. Without faith, you're gonna give up. You have to keep going. Very important. You have to be consistent every single day. Whatever you want to work on every single day. You have to show up. You have to be consistent. You have to fail. Embarrassingly so. Embarrass yourself completely. Then success is just in reach. When you embarrass yourself completely, people are underestimating how much they are holding back by the idea of embarrassment. It's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Like people are so much. People care so much about other people's opinions that they don't even understand how much you're doing for other people's opinions, how much you're doing to get approval from others. It's a lot. You're not talking to the crush that you have. You're not talking to any stranger at all. You're not connecting with people. You're not putting yourself out there. You're not doing anything because you're afraid of what people think of you. That is what is holding you back in many, many ways. And it's so stupid. That's a big thing for most people. It's like, just get yourself out there. Just show up. If you show up every single day, it is just a matter of time before you start to succeed. And the time might be long. The time might be 10 years, right? Depending upon how much time you spend. So if you think, okay, I can achieve this goal in 1 year, don't be so optimistic. Think of it, I can achieve this goal in 10 years, okay? And then you can see, okay, if I want to achieve it in 1 year, I should spend the same amount of time that I would spend in 10 years. Then we can say you can achieve it in 1 year, right? So instead of now working on it for 2 hours a day, you're working on it for 20 hours a day, 16 hours a day. Then we can say you can do it in a year, right? But don't have these unrealistic expectations, because you're gonna be disappointed. And you're gonna think you're doing something wrong when you're not doing wrong. You have just not done enough. You need to do more. You have not done enough. You have not enough data. You don't have enough things to know what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. Through life experiences, you learn. That's why we look at older people and we think they're wiser. Well, not necessarily is true, but because they have more life experience, right? Same thing is, if you work on something for 10 hours instead of 2 hours, it's a huge difference, right? If I'm practicing the flute for 2 hours a day, compared to someone that practices the flute 10 hours a day, it's a world of difference. And then you look at the person and it's like, oh, he's only playing for 1 year and it's already so good and I'm not. Yeah, but he spent 10 hours a day on it. You cannot even compare yourself to such a person because you're not doing the same things that that person does. You're not working the same amount of hours. So you don't have to blame yourself for it. You just have to look at it realistically. Okay, this person spent 10 hours, so he is 5 times further than me, because I only spend 2 hours a day. So that is how you stop comparing yourself also to others, because you see, oh, these people have spent a lot of time into it. Even if it happened in a few years, they're spending those years all day long working on it. So feel more, keep going more, do more, and keep consistent. Have faith. These are the messages that I have for you, because sometimes you're this close to transforming and changing and everything changing for you, but you just give up. You just like throw in the towel. Throw the towel in the ring. Stop throwing the towel in the ring. Keep going. You're almost there. You're almost there to change, to transform, to see what you're doing wrong, and therefore transform, change yourself, and then success lands in your lap. This is my message for you. I hope you take it seriously. I'm not bullshitting you with this video. And also my own experience is that I've achieved multiple things in my life, and I see that this is not something that just applies to things in the world and trying to achieve success, right? I achieved a lot of success with magic. That was great, but both for inner work was the same thing. Me letting go, me meditating, me doing these things, that was very harsh. That was very lonely. That was very, very difficult. And it took many hours, many hours, and daily practice, and weeks long where I was just focused on inner work. Weeks upon weeks, just doing inner work all day long. Okay? Not just doing inner work 1 hour. I'm talking about doing inner work 10 hours, 12 hours a day. You can see how you cannot compare yourself to me because you have not put in the same amount of hours. So you cannot say, I'm not where he is. How do I get to where he is? It's like, where are you at? Where am I at? And how much have I put in? And how much have you put in? If we put those numbers together, you're seeing, oh, I'm not doing anything wrong. I just put in too little hours. I put in too little energy into it. I put in too little commitment and really wanting it to make it work. So you cannot compare yourself to me. You cannot say, I am only here and he is there and he's just lucky. He's not lucky. I'm not lucky. I'm not lucky. I do work. It's all work. You see, inner work is work. Outer work is work. None of this has to do with procrastination. None of this has to do with resting. None of this has to do with anything else than work. How much work have you put in? How much work have I put in? That is what we can compare. And then when you see how much work I have put in compared to you, then we can say it makes sense why you are where you're at and you're not doing anything wrong. Just keep going longer. Put in more hours, put in more time, put in more energy. And then you will get where I'm at. I hope this makes sense. I'm not trying to be frustrated, but sometimes these things get me a little bit passionate because it's all being held back from you because nobody wants to talk to you about this. Nobody wants to say what is really true because people get triggered by it and people like more things that are easy. But this is why I'm giving you this video. And if you have found this video, call yourself lucky because you're one of the few that gets to see this video, because most people won't see this video because the algorithm wouldn't support this, because it's not easy content, because it's not something easy everyone applies and everyone can do and everyone can handle. It is straightforward, direct advice from my heart to you to help you, because I know what it's like when you cannot find anyone giving you the right advice. So here I am giving you the right advice. If you like it, don't forget to like. If you share it with a friend, then we can spread this knowledge further. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. I will see you in the next video.